So you put a couple drops, and this is actually very effective and it'll make you save the amount of oil you use. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you something you can do twice a week, every single week for massive hair growth. You will see results fast. It is very quick and easy. It's not time consuming to make or to use. Make sure you stay tuned all the way till the end of this video because you're gonna get some gems. If you don't know me, my name is Angelica, aka Angie B. I post videos twice a week on Wednesdays and Sundays all about growing healthy, long, natural hair. I also post a little bit of fun, skincare, makeup, reactions when requested. So if that seems like something you might be interested in, consider subscribing. The subscription button is right down there as well as the bell icon. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications every single time I post, and I also post bonus videos occasionally, so you're going to get those notifications when I post them. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So the thing you can do twice a week, every single week, to improve your hair growth significantly is actually an oil mix. My exact oil mix that I use, this one is actually a little bit finished, but we will be making more and you'll see exactly how I make it. So first I'm going to start by talking about all the benefits of every single oil I put and why I use it. Then we'll go into the demonstration where I show you how to make the oil, and application is all up to you. So let's get straight into explaining that. Okay, so the first oil that I use in my oil mix is almond oil. This is one of my favorite oils. I use it all the time and it's pretty affordable most of the time when I find it. One of its best benefits are it really makes the hair feel nice and soft, and it has emollient properties, which means it fills in any of the gaps that you have in your hair, and it makes your hair feel smoother and shinier and of course softer. And it is one of those oils that if you consistently use, which is why I recommend using this mix twice a week, if you consistently use this over time, you will continue to see improvement, similar to when you deep condition your hair. Like if you deep condition your hair once and then you don't deep condition your hair for 2 months, you might just feel the good benefits like on that one specific day. But if you deep condition your hair every single time you wash your hair or every week, you will start to see a huge change, and it will be like over time, as you continue to use it, your hair continues to improve and continues to get better. Almond oil also contains oleic acid, which makes the hair feel soft as well. It also gives the hair a little bit of extra slip, so as you're combing it, you're less prone to excess frizz, tangles, and damage. It also helps with a flaky scalp, so all these things are things that contribute to healthy hair. If you scratch your hair less because your scalp is not itching and it's very nice and healthy, your hair is growing out of your scalp. If your scalp is healthy, your hair is going to grow out better because your follicles are going to be in great condition. Your hair is not going to be breaking because it's going to have a little bit extra slip. And if your hair is not breaking and tugging when you're combing it, it also means less split ends and thicker, healthier hair. The next oil I use is olive oil. Now, olive oil is filled with antioxidants, which is amazing for your hair. This is one of the reasons why olive oil is called liquid gold. There was a time when there was a huge olive oil craze, and then it kind of died down because we're always on to the next thing: aloe vera, rice water. But that doesn't mean because it's not like the most popular ingredient of the time that it is not amazing. It is still a very, very amazing oil, and you also get lots of added benefits if you actually ingest it as well. So if you have some olive oil in your food, you guys know I always say putting things on your hair, if your body is really messed up on the inside and unhealthy, it might make a little change, but it's not going to help you that much. If you think of the nutrients and the food that you eat that nourishes your hair from the inside out, you'll start to see major changes. So think about this. If you buy a bottle of olive oil that's only for your hair, consider dividing it in half and using half for your hair and the other half for your food. It also promotes your hair health by reducing breakage and dandruff, and of course, like I said in my last video, healthy scalp, healthy ends, less breakage equals longer hair. The real secret to growing longer hair is not necessarily making it grow out of the roots faster, because most people have a genetic time frame of how they grow hair. Some people might grow 1 inch, some people might grow 2 inches, some people might grow half an inch, and some people might grow a quarter of an inch. So the best thing that you can do to make your hair grow longer faster is to retain that length, to stop it from breaking, to not cut your hair when you don't need it, and to make sure that you don't have too many split ends, because that will reduce the amount of times you actually have to cut it. Let's get into the next oil, and these ones are ones that you easily guess because I literally use them in everything all the time. So the next oil is peppermint oil, and you guys know how much I love peppermint oil. It stimulates the scalp. It makes your scalp feel nice and fresh and clean, and while there's that stimulating effect going on your scalp that sends blood rushing in that area, take note that some other things might tingle on your scalp, which is why people get things like Vicks and and rub on and all that kind of stuff, and they'll put them on their scalp and they think it makes their hair grow because it's tingling. What peppermint does, it's not only the tingling sensation, it has other benefits. So yes, the tingling sensation makes blood rush to your scalp, and that can send oxygen there and boost your hair growth and increase its rate. But when it was tested on mice, which, we don't really do animal testing anymore, but back in the day, peppermint oil was tested on mice, and it found that using peppermint oil on the mice actually increase the hair follicles, which is basically something I have never really heard of, because as far as I know, the amount of follicles that you're born with on your head is the amount of follicles that you're going to stay with. But it is worth noting, it's possible since it happened on the mice. And then also it increased the depth of the follicle, and that one I could actually believe, because if your follicles are damaged, kind of plugged and whatever, it could increase the depth because of how it goes into the hair. And the next one is another essential oil, which is rosemary oil. Now, rosemary oil is not an oil I use all the time, and it's not because it's not a good oil, it's just because I would actually forget I have it. And I don't know, it's not a very popular oil, so it's not like something that's always stuck in my mind. But recently I have been using it a lot, and I'm seeing some great benefits from it. So let me just tell you some of the benefits of using rosemary oil in your hair. So one of the biggest benefits of rosemary oil, which is probably what you'd see across the board as the most interesting thing from rosemary oil, and you'll find it in a lot of shampoos and conditioners, but the essential oil by itself is not very popular, but in other products it is pretty popular. And the reason is it has the ability to improve cellular regeneration, which means it can help lengthen the growth phase of your hair cycle. And also, if you have any hairs that are not turning over fast, let me say, if you're using something like a retinol or an AHA, an exfoliant on your skin, if you use it, it might start to increase the turnover of your skin faster, which means your dead skin falls off quicker and your skin continues to stay youthful, because as you get older, the regeneration of the cells of your skin is slower, so you need those products to kind of speed it up. That is kind of what rosemary does. When you put it on your scalp in oil or in a conditioner or anything like that, it helps construction as usual. Please ignore the noise if you can hear it. But anyway, it can really increase that cellular regeneration, and that is one of the amazing benefits of rosemary oil and why I would highly recommend it. It also promotes hair growth, because of course for that cellular regeneration to happen, that means your hair is growing. And also thickness, because if you maybe shed too much hair and this is regenerating more hairs faster, then your hair is automatically going to become thicker. So if you haven't thought of this before, consider trying it. And if you want a full video on rosemary oil, let me know so I can concentrate and go really in depth into rosemary oil. But let's get into the last oil, and I'm sure you can guess what it is. It is tea tree oil. So tea tree oil has great cleansing benefits, which is amazing for your scalp. I focus a lot on scalp health, because your hair grows from your scalp, despite the things people say, like if you cut your hair it will grow faster. No, it appears to be growing faster because you remove the dead hair, and now you've got healthy hair, and you're probably conscious of taking care of it more, and so it seems like it's growing fast because you're retaining the length faster. However, if you really just focus on your scalp and you avoid damaging your ends, you will have much faster growth and much healthier growth much quicker. So it is cleansing. It is also antibacterial, which is great, especially if you use lots of natural ingredients that could be unstable, like, I don't know, avocado conditioners, aloe vera, rice water, all these natural ingredients. Because they are natural, they are unstable, they have no preservatives, which means occasionally they could have a bad reaction on your scalp, and maybe you didn't notice it was going bad or something like that, and it could just have an adverse reaction on your scalp, and it could make your hair start to itch or something like that. So I would highly recommend adding something like tea tree oil, because it just kills all that bacteria. It can really help with itching, and it actually has the ability to unplug your follicles. So if you put heavy products on your scalp all the time and all over your hair, and your follicles are kind of plugged and it seems like your hair is not growing well, kind of like ingrown hairs on your skin, you shave nicely and your hair starts to grow back, but you've got like bumps and a few ingrown hairs. Think about it like that, but not necessarily ingrown hairs on your scalp, just plugged follicles, which is preventing them from growing out healthy. And this tea tree oil can just help unplug those and make your hair grow and feel nice and fresh and get longer and stronger. Now, disclaimer, tea tree oil, rosemary oil, and peppermint oil are all essential oils, so these should always be mixed in another oil. Whether you are using my oil mix or not, whether you're using plain olive oil, plain almond oil, find whatever hair oil you can find and then mix these oils on this. Trust me, you will not get more benefits by putting these directly on your scalp. It's going to have adverse effects. You might not see the effects right now, but in the long run, you will see effects like burns. It can damage your hair follicles because it is that strong. I always say this: too much of a good thing is also bad. So please take note of what I'm saying. So without further ado, let's get into making the actual oil mix so you can see how much I put of everything. Okay, so getting straight into it, these are the oils we're using. I'm starting with the olive oil, and it is extra virgin olive oil, the same one you use for cooking, and you know that it's good quality. Usually when it's more yellow, that's where the name liquid gold comes from. It should be more like yellow in color. Then you know it's got the highest concentration of antioxidants and stuff. Now here I don't take specific measurements. This is just what I do. So after that I use almond oil, and these measurements usually interchange. Sometimes I have more olive oil, sometimes I have more almond oil, so it's just up to you. You only need to be careful with the measurements when it comes to the essential oils. So I put about 6 drops of peppermint oil, about 7 drops of this rosemary oil. Now I've had these for a long time. I don't know if I'll find them online, but I'll find the closest alternatives that are good. I always say essential oils don't really matter as long as they're high quality and 100% essential oil. Now this is tea tree oil, and I'm putting about 6 to 7 drops of that as well. Now if you have never used these oils, I would suggest you only do 2 to 3 drops because you don't want to add too much that your scalp can handle. And they mix easily, but I still always advise to shake it up before you use it. And that is our oil complete in minutes. Okay, so as you saw, that was the demo of how I made it. Now I'm doing the demo. I shot the demo after this, so if you're wondering why there's still almost no oil in this is why. But I want to show you how to apply it. First of all, this is not a big deal. You can apply it however you want. You can apply it more than twice a week, but again, you don't want to have too much product buildup. So I would suggest on the day that you wash your hair, or maybe 2 days after that, if your scalp feels kind of oily or you've got products on it, maybe 2 days after your wash day, you can use this oil. And then towards the end of your wash day, like before you wash your hair again in the week, or maybe you don't wash your hair, let's just say this: 2 days after you wash your hair, you can use this oil mix, and then after another like 3 days, you can use the oil mix again. So yeah, that's within a week. So use it twice a week. So there's two ways to use it. If you want to feel like your scalp is coated, especially if you've got maybe like a very dry, flaky scalp, I would suggest you use it like this. You make a part. It does not have to be an even part. I don't recommend making even lines in your hair all the time because you could be tugging at your hair and creating more breakage, which is not what I'm advising. Just part your hair however it parts. So like this, you can see some of my scalp. You just want to drop a couple drops like that, work it in, and then you could continue going. So like here, instead of getting a comb, I just make a part like this, and then of course add more. I already have like some oil on my scalp, so I don't want to do it again. But then here's the second option. If you feel like, I actually got this comment recently saying that oiling the scalp actually makes you break out, and that's because of maybe you're using too much oil and it's dripping down your face even when you can't see it, or maybe you're just not oiling your scalp properly. So if you feel like you naturally have a more oily scalp but you still want to get the benefits of this oil, or you feel like oiling your hair makes you break out, this is what I would suggest. So you put a couple drops, and this is actually very effective, and it'll make you save the amount of oil you use. So you just put some oil on the fingertips like this, and then you go in for a scalp massage. So you just put your fingers in your hair and massage it on your scalp until you find that you have no oil on your fingers. So like this, I basically have no oil. There's still a little bit on, but so you go into your scalp like this, and then you go ahead and do the scalp massage. Now I will say, the best thing you can do to get the most benefits out of this oil is to always combine this with a scalp massage. Don't just put the oil on your hair and leave it to go, because if you wanted to really get into your scalp and get the full benefits of it and really make it go into your hair shaft and your follicles, and for you to actually feel that tingling sensation on your scalp, you would need to do a scalp massage with this. Now I don't need to do it in here because I did a full scalp massage video for you. So if you'd like to see exactly how I do the scalp massage for maximum hair growth, you can just check it out right here. It is linked here. And if you'd like to see how I got the best wash and go I have ever got, you can watch the video right here and watch the two videos on the side of the screen right here. If you'd like to see any of my older videos, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.